Now, welcome to another Weekend Ramble, where we are going to be discussing Mon Mothma this time.
After the last episode of Andor, which will contain spoilers,
Episode 10, No Way Out.
we saw the difficult choice she has ahead and the choices that she's making and how they're affecting her. And I find it incredibly profound.
Yeah, I think we're going to mainly talk about what do we think happens with her family here.
Mm-hmm. From the last episode, we know she's now dealing with Davo, the gangster type guy.
Kind of mob bossy.
Underworldy.
Yeah, shady.
Moving money around is lucrative.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what his line of work is.
There are so many... It was such a short scene, but the connotations and everything behind it was so huge.
Well, she's finally having to do something that
She
goes
finds
against her.
distasteful.
Yeah, goes against kind of her ethical code, you could say. I mean, before she's just been, dealing money behind the Empire's back, and she sees the Empire as, immoral and unethical and all these things. So that's no problem. But when she herself has to kind of delve into that same kind of, that's one of the questions of the whole show is how far do you go? All these characters are kind of becoming their enemies to defeat their enemies.
Well, it's crazy because she's not trying to do anything that's really that illegal.
It shouldn't be illegal for her to move her money around. No, that's the funny part.
But they're watching, and she has to move it in this secret underworld way. And he acknowledges the fact that the Senate didn't approve of this, but they're having to do, this banking structure that they've changed. And he's just playing the game.
Yeah, and he plays her quite well, too, by pointing out, as we're kind of saying, like, you're not doing anything that should be illegal. You're moving your money around.
You're moving your own personal
it's your
finances.
Money and you want it now, or whatever that commercial was.
I find it also interesting. He mentions that he's met a few times with her husband.
Yes, there's a connection there.
Exactly. So, and she doesn't even, she goes, let's not talk about it. Let's keep this separate.
That's
like
a corner
they do.
We've turned, yeah.
And I find that interesting that she doesn't even want to know what Perrin is doing with their money.
No. Would you want to know what Perrin is doing with your money? Come on now.
I'm just saying.
There's something shady about
their
Perrin,
marriage
too.
system is so bizarre because of the fact that they are supposed to be a unit, but they both want to live separately.
Kinda. I mean, we know it's an arranged marriage. We can just tell that it hasn't gone extremely well over the years.
No.
Right? They're not happy together.
It was arranged because they both come from prominent families, and this was what was best.
Yeah, clearly what was best for both families involved here.
Yes, involved to keep their prestige and the family look intact with the keeping money consolidated and those types of things.
Which is then part of her problem with, kind of setting her daughter up with Davo. Davo is not a prestigious man himself here.
No, but by Chandrilan culture, this would be a fine thing because they're keeping money consolidated.
Depending on what the rest
looks like he wants to be a well-to-do family sort of thing, and he's trying to gain legitimacy through her daughter too.
Yeah, we don't know how others look at Davo in Chandrilan culture, if you will, or society.
So it puts her in this position where what do I sell my daughter for the rebellion? But he didn't say it was a betrothal. He was very clear. But it is introducing exactly people of the 14. Really? 14 is the age that they marry?
Well, she got married at 15, so it's about that time.
It's about that time. How do you do that as a mother, as someone with the morals of Mon Mothma, to go, is my family, is my daughter's happiness worth more to me than the entire galaxy?
Well, it should be, right?
It should be.
In a manner of speaking, I mean, I know your number one job as a parent is to the well-being of your child, to make sure that they, have the skills to manage in the world ahead of them. And so you don't want to start them off on the wrong foot by getting them in a crime family, essentially, right?
Well, which is crazy. This is also the first time that she's going to have to possibly have to sacrifice for the rebellion.
Yes.
What has she sacrificed so far? She's put herself in a little modicum of danger because she's under suspicion.
Well, she's in big danger, let's be honest. She is risking herself and her family. I mean, I think Perrin has some sort of he talked about his old war buddies at one point. I think if it came out that Mon was a traitor, he would turn on her.
I think he'd be okay, and the daughter would probably be protected as well.
So she's only been risking herself, in terms of moving this money around, because Perrin's going to sell her out, right? He's going to throw her under the bus if something goes wrong. He's not that kind of guy who's going to stand up for his wife that he probably doesn't really like, much less love.
But those decisions that Mon has to make now are definitely going to show an influence later, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Mon Mothma we see later, you can tell has made hard choices.
I mean, the only time we've really seen Mon Mothma is in Return of the Jedi and a little bit in Rogue One, and we get some. But I mean, you're kind of basing everything off the character from that I mean, assuming you're not reading into the EU or anything else, you're really kind of basing everything you know about the character off a 1-minute speech where there seems to be a lot of sorrow, just in the way she talks.
Because maybe she's getting a little more beat down, maybe more like Luthen, and the things she's had to give up have to make this succeed. It has to be worth something to justify the choices that she's made.
Yeah.
The choices that she might be making soon.
Well, I mean, I think it's almost inevitable that she's going to have to take Davos' deal because Tay kind of made it, apparent in the previous episode that they're going to find out. Like, if you don't do anything...
The audit's coming.
It's coming. They're going to find out. So this is your only choice. So she's going to have to sell her daughter, essentially. I don't want to use the word sell, but arrange her into a marriage that, for all we know, is she's going to be, just as miserable as Mon is.
What starts as a meeting, just a meeting, they're just going to meet. It's going to be fine. Okay, but now he's got dirt on her, so he can twist her any way she wants once she takes the deal.
Yeah.
Once she goes, okay, fine, you can come back, we'll introduce the kids. But at the same time, there are some ways that she can improve that situation. Her daughter and her don't have a great relationship. As most girls know, when you don't have a great relationship with your mom, and your mom's trying to hook you up with somebody, or you think she's trying to hook you up with, oh, my friend at work, here's their child,
and he's so handsome.
And he's so handsome and so cute. You're going to be like, well, if my mom likes them, maybe I don't want to like them.
Yeah.
So she can try to help, maybe hinting to the daughter that she thinks this would be a great match, and her daughter's so rebellious towards her, she'll reject it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping happens, because even if he's pushing for it, if the kids don't like each other, maybe the son won't want her. If they dislike each other that much, could that possibly put a stop to Davos' plan?
I think Davo.
I'm going to call him everything but his name.
I know. But Davo, I think, is going to force his son into it as well. I don't think the son is going to have much of a choice either in this matter.
But I think you can't totally force it. I think you
can. I mean, it's an arranged marriage. They've used the word arranged. That's not...
Why didn't Davo ever ask Perrin for an introduction?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that they're like buddy-buddy. I think they've worked together. They know each other. I don't know that that's kind of... I mean, it doesn't have anything over Perrin, essentially, would be my guess.
What I find interesting is that Mon is against traditions. She doesn't seem to like them. She was complaining that they don't let her change the decor.
Yeah.
She was kind of complaining about this whole marriage, arranged marriage-y thing. I mean, Davos said he didn't care for tradition, but he's trying to set up a traditional marriage.
We know the implications here, right? He's going to expect it to work out one way or another.
Connection.
Yeah. I think he would prefer if the two kids meet and they hit it off and they sail off into the Chandrilan sunset, right? And be happy together. But if that doesn't happen, he still wants them together.
I hate that you're right, and I think that's the problem, is I know that you're right, and I know that this is meaning that Mon may have to make such a huge sacrifice, because she loves her daughter.
Yeah.
She doesn't, whether they get along or not, she loves her daughter, and you can see that.
She clearly doesn't understand her daughter.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
a rift,
places,
but you can
there's
tell.
Still love there.
Yeah.
She looked legitimately hurt when her daughter didn't want to go with her.
do I have to go with Mom? Oh, my God. Sorry, that's terrible teen girl talk right there. But
yeah, it's terrible teen talk.
I know.
In general, jeez.
It's been a while since I was a teen, so forgive me.
But you could tell her immediate indignation that she, no. Do you have something else to offer? Because that's my, it's her daughter. That's her family. That's her
look of horror
legacy,
on her
her
face,
future. Yeah. But then when he's accused her of lying when she said she wouldn't consider it, and he's like, oh, it's the first thing you've said.
Because she is considering it.
She is considering it, and he knows she has to consider it because she can't afford to get caught.
No, because it's over for her.
It's over for her and possibly the family as well.
Yeah, I mean, her daughter is, and then her daughter is going to be, who knows what happens. Like I said, I think they're going to be fine. Well, the family will
definitely lose prestige, and her daughter may not find a good match anyway. I mean, your mother was a traitor to the Empire.
Yeah.
Whether your dad got you out of jail time or not, your family is branded.
Yeah, like I said, I think Perrin turns on her, and he's got buddies in high places, and he's going to be just fine if this goes south.
But there has to be, I feel like Mon Mothma, there has to be some alternative to using this gangster to save yourself, to move this money. There has to be another way.
I mean, there might be in theory, but I think that's the way that's going to happen. Because, again, this is showing everybody's sacrifice that has to be made. That's what this episode was really all about. You kind of take three characters and you show the different ways they sacrifice.
It makes the characters more real. It enhances her appearance later in Return of the Jedi when you see this woman talking about how these Bothans died, and she understands this loss and giving things up because she is missing a family and her daughter.
Yeah. Everybody has to sacrifice. And it's not easy.
Mm-hmm. So then she'll be the one giving our next monologue. What did you sacrifice? Everything!
Oh, my daughter. I didn't like her anyway, though, so... No, just kidding.
She loved her.
Glad to be rid of that husband, though.
That husband, she's like, can you take Perrin instead?
It's all Perrin's idea. But no, that's the beauty of the show. Every character has been given so much depth. It's even a character who, if you just watch the films, you've seen her once in Return of the Jedi, you've seen her a little bit in Rogue One, and you're like, oh yeah, the character, she's like the leader of the rebellion or something, right?
Right, and looking at her, there is a sadness to her in both Rogue One and...
You've taken a character that most people probably, outside of the real core fandom, probably don't remember her name very often, and you've made her a phenomenal, intricate character that you're like, wow, what has this woman given up? What is she about to sacrifice? Right. What is going to happen to her?
This is enhancing her character, enhancing her when we see her down the line.
Yeah, it makes...
And we start understanding what sacrifices, what she's gone through to get where she is, and she's not just some puppet leader or just some, who's that, rich-looking lady talking to her? No, that's Mon Mothma, and she is important, and we know her story. It's doing the things that you want it to do. I mean, it's taking a character, and she wasn't really considered a legacy character before, but she will be now.
Yeah, I wouldn't call her a legacy character.
No,
just
but
by the
now
fact that there's no
you might.
Characterization in the films. I mean, again, you can go to the EU, you can even go to the new canon, and there's stuff there. But
you said 20 years from now, you'd be like, Mon Mothma, she's a legacy character.
Yeah,
she's phenomenal. We know her.
Don't you know her story? Well, you need to watch Andor.
You need to watch Andor. What are you doing?
But no, I see... it's curious. I just wonder what the eventual path is to her being the leader of the rebellion. Why is she chosen? I mean, I wonder how much we're going to get into all that in this next...
In the next season.
Next season, yeah. But anyway, I think we'll wrap it up here. Otherwise, we'll just ramble. Yeah, we'll just ramble on and on and on. We'll move into another topic without realizing it. So that's all we got for this time. Now it's your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you think about Mon Mothma and her situation. How's this all going to play out? I mean, we do know there are no family members in the original trilogy for her, so it's not going to go well, but what happens? Anyway, leave your comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.